Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Shenanigans. It is the next day.
Wait. After the feast, do the contestants go to their houses?
No, everyone stays at the bar. The bedrooms
Okay.
get opened back up and everything.
Then never mind.
All right, I'll say to Zen now. Here's what I don't get: if this is a different dimension, and there's like copies, like you're just like Nez, and there's a different Droopy and everything, then where's my copy? Who's the copy of me?
I told you, I think it's Desmond, the guy who owns the bar. I mean,
Really?
you're weak in a wizard, he is strong in a fighter. If it's reverse dimensions, it makes sense.
Okay, can I try to find Desmond?
Sure.
Okay.
He's hanging back at the bar, kind of leaning on this big sack of gold that he's got. Smile on his face.
All right, I'm just like looking at him. I go,
What you want, Beardy? I want a drink?
I don't know. They were telling me that you're me from this world.
Oh, that's ridiculous. You and I don't look
see it.
anything alike. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm big and strong, you're weak and scrawny, I'm devilishly handsome, you're ugly as hell, I've got a little bit of scruff, and you've got this ugly goatee. I mean, I see no similarities between us whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking though that if you are me, then maybe you're the only one I can talk to about this.
You, having some problems?
Do you ever have to hire adventurers to go pick up a potion to take care of stuff down there?
Only for Lizzie's birthday.
Oh God, I thought I was the only one. I thought I could never talk to anyone about this or admit it.
I meant, like, things are great, but, you know, on birthdays, I mean, I'm still just a man.
So you have the same problem, and you have to get the potion too.
No, there's no problem. I can assure you,
It's
there's
not
no
a problem for you. I can't even put my pants on without using that potion to get everything to go down there.
Oh, you have pants fitting problems.
I figure you. I mean, you have these too, then, right?
We call these Linden problems. No, my pants fit just fine, thank you.
Oh.
Yes, like most people in the world, my pants fit just fine.
So you don't have to drink the potion just to get things to go down enough to get squeezed into your pants in the morning?
You might want to consult a physician about that. Or maybe try wearing looser pants, but probably consult a physician. That sounds uncomfortable. Maybe you would be, how do you say this politely? Maybe you'd be a smarter person and less of a coward if more of the blood got to your brain. You might want to consider some surgical options to improve your cognitive abilities.
More smart of a person. I'm a very smart person.
Really?
What? I read all the time.
What's the square
all
root
time.
of 2?
Have we invented fractions in this dimension?
Well, I think that answers the question right there.
So what is the square root of 2?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm very smart. I read all the time, and I talk to my friends. We like post messages on that message board on the edge of town about different books and fandoms.
I don't think reading and talking to people is the same thing as being smart.
Well, I am smart. I know lots of stuff, and I know languages.
Everybody thinks they're smart. Everybody thinks they're smarter than most of the other people in the world. The sad reality is half the people in this world are dumber than the other half. And my friend, you might want to see a physician. Maybe consider some voluntary amputations to improve their brain function.
Aren't there, like, some people that do that? And they only have one god?
Maybe in your world?
That just sounds kind of painful.
Ice it. Anyway, I've got other patrons to serve, so unless you've got a problem that, I mean, I can fix that. I'm good with the sword. You want me to solve your problems, I can do that.
No, I'll pass on that.
All right. Is there anything else you guys would like to do that evening?
Droopy is probably standing by, and as he comes back from that side, by the way, the answer to his question was 1.414213562373095.
Droopy can't do that amount of square roots in her head.
What?
What's your intelligence, Droopy?
5.
Was I saying something? That doesn't know. Of course.
Okay. The next day comes along.
Next day, I immediately go buy blessed leather scrap.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. Droopy's going to use
actually, I'm going to before anything, I'm going to think of. I mean, if I'm in this dimension, then maybe they don't have the same poems in this dimension. And so I'll think of like some pretty awesome love poem from my dimension that maybe they don't have here. So it'll seem original.
Clever.
And so I'll write that out, and I'll just sign it with a letter D. And so out at night, can I find like some kind of pretty wildflower?
Sure. You can find some sort of wildflower.
Okay.
No, hold on.
And the
At
poem I'll
night-
select is not something about like how I've always been in love with you, but something about sort of a meeting, that first meeting, that feel of surprise, that something you hadn't expected, and the sense of mystery and looking forward to whatever. And I'll take a little bit of glob of wax and stick the flower to it at the bottom.
Sure.
And go upstairs. And I'm sure there's guards at the door.
Well, the princess has gone to spend the night at the Baron's house, so she's not here. You won't see her again until the next day.
Oh, I don't know. How do I get a message to her? Zen, do you have any ideas?
I mean, wait to have somebody deliver it to her tomorrow?
Well, maybe tonight, like something so she gets it before everything tomorrow.
I mean, no.
What's the weather like right now?
Wait a minute. How'd you get a flower? How do you know it's pretty? It's nighttime. They're all closed.
Evening promise blooms at night. So do moonflowers and night gladiuses And the Casablanca lily blooms at night. There's a bunch of flowers that bloom only at night. And then some that bloom into the evenings and some that start blooming before the sun comes up.
What's the weather like right now, Neal?
Pleasant.
Oh, no rain or anything?
No, it's a nice, pleasant day. Evening.
Damn. I was gonna get like a little vial and like put some water in it and say I collected rainwater for her or something.
Aww. How romantic. Well, it is the next day. You can find your scrap of leather blessed by a priest. It costs 50 gold.
Well, I do need to get that message over
I paid
there.
it.
Can I pay, like, are
just
there,
asked
like,
Groupie. You could
little
have just
message
asked
people
Groupie.
that we can pay to deliver
No,
messages?
it takes 3 priests to actually bless
Oh, okay.
things.
Yeah, you can hire a messenger and have them deliver a message to her.
Okay, I'm going to do that then.
And the message is a poem that you've written that might not exist in this world, along with the flower.
Yes. Yes, something about sort of that you know, the initial shock and joy of unexpected feeling.
Sure. Do you have some sort of like artistic ability or poetry writing or something like that?
I don't, but I am a scholar, which is why I was gonna, you know, sort of like if you went off to another dimension, you could just like start like cranking out the Shakespeare and taking credit for it.
Sure. Why don't you give me an intelligence check to see if you can remember one of the poems from back home well enough to transcribe it from memory accurately.
All right.
Ooh.
Wow.
You have a whole bunch of poems that you remember very well, and you can pick the best one.
Rob with the non-combat 20s.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm all about non-combat. I've got the cowardice and the bruise easily disadvantaged.
Okay. That day, you are all gathered together by some of the guards and brought out to a small arena that has been instructed. There's also some bleachers that have been made, and the princess, along with her guards, are seated within it.
I think Ruby has like her arm in a wrecked, what do you call it? If your arm is broken, you have it in
a sling.
Yeah. A sling, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hopping behind them.
Hey. Blah, 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 blah. Perfect. Okay. Excellent. You are the next competition is announced. It is the horseback riding competition. The rules for it are as follows. One of the announcers steps out to say. The most impressive, you will be awarded points based on the impressiveness of your horseback riding. If you would like to do fancy feats, that is not only allowed but also encouraged. If you would like to do some daring feats of skill, that is encouraged as well. If you fall off your horse, you are awarded 0 points. You are awarded up to... Is it here? Horseback riding. Ooh, I did not write down how many points the horseback riding competition is worth. The horseback riding competition is worth up to 5 points.
All right, riding in a straight line and not falling off. That's where I'm a Viking.
So the order will be randomized. Rob, why don't you roll me a D 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to see when you go.
All right, I'll roll a D7, even though that's not a possible geometric solid.
Ooh, 5. All right. The announcer does come back for a step forward one more time and says, for the horseback riding competition, magical assistance by friends and allies is prohibited. Those sorts of things will be allowed when it comes time for the melee, though. So I hope you have picked friends well.
Ruby just wanted to get up and ask, and Freddy sees Zen, sits down.
I speak up. Is that allowed on the enemy or just our allies?
We'll discuss it when the melee comes.
Okay.
Roll a 5. So, Bob is the first to go.
Yeah, Neal.
Yes.
Question. So this is an arena.
Yeah, there's like a hastily set up arena. It's maybe 20 feet on a side, but that's not where the horseback riding is taking place. That's like just off to the side. The horseback riding area is kind of just a dirt track, and there's a couple of barriers set up if you want to like jump over them on your horses or anything. There's not much in the way for like things in the horseback riding arena. You'll have to improvise your own stuff.
Yeah, Droopy's not going to go on the stands.
Okay. There's a lot of people on the ground.
Yeah, Droopy would probably do something specific. Is there a way to go out of sight?
Absolutely. You're just outside in the town right now.
Okay. Who scored highest after?
You don't know. The numbers aren't posted publicly.
Okay. Probably Bob. Bob looks like a royal, all right?
He's definitely some sort of noble. He's got that air about him.
Ruby would probably somewhere from nowhere release 2 of the zombie rats, and no, 3 of the zombie rats, and instruct them with attacking Bob's horse.
Ooh. I want you to roll me a d10. Ooh, close but no cigar. Your rats get to Bob's horse, but he is the first one to go, as I said. They get to his horse just as he takes off on the horse. Like, they're trailing behind him as he starts to ride off. You missed it.
Is it not a round course? Or
what?
A round course? Like...
No, so it's just like a dirt track. Like, it's just like the edge of town where this is set up. But there's a road. There's not actually like there's no walls. It's just like a road, and then they built like a little arena on the side for fighting. It's just kind of open.
Now we have 3 zombies.
No one pays too much mind to the rats. Bob goes out, and he begins to show off his impressive display of horseback riding.
But does he slow down during it?
He changes directions. He does see the rats at some point. Let me make a perception check. He easily passes his perception check, and he rides his horse towards the rats in an attempt to squash them.
Oh, this is going to go.
This is an overrun attack by the horse, which I think the rats need to make a saving throw versus paralyzation. Otherwise, the horse does damage to them. I mean,
they are pretty small. I mean, they are pretty small. Target. Can you even overrun such small targets? Because it's easy to overrun a human with a horse, but rats?
When a larger creature attempts to move into a smaller standing enemy square, it's called an overrun. Mounted figures use the mount size for this purpose. Overrun creates attack of opportunity for the figure being stepped on. After the defender's attack, if it has a weapon, but rats don't.
They have natural weapons. They can't.
Saving throw versus paralyzation or be knocked down.
The question is, rats are not. Does it count for tiny animals? Can you overrun tiny animals with a horse really good? Because there's a big chance he just basically walks over them without hitting them with anything.
Yeah, but I think that's what the saving throw is about here.
Okay. Paralyzation.
The save is modified by a penalty of -4 for a creature 2 sizes larger than the defender, and -8 for a creature 3 sizes larger than the defender. Yeah, so actually they have an even worse save the larger the horse is, apparently. When the defender is knocked down with the overrun creature, he may suffer a trampling attack. Okay. So give me 3 saving throws at -8 for your rats. Oh god, they're gonna be natural 20s. Basically.
They have
Wait,
1 and a
2?
quarter hit dice.
Did he only release 2?
I thought he said 3.
3.
Oh.
What is the save for?
It's gonna have they have a penalty of 8, so they're gonna need to roll a 20.
Yeah. 3
It could happen. They could all pass.
Just
Yeah.
yeah. But do they not get opportunity attacks? They have natural weapons. So. Because monsters get opportunity attacks.
It does create an opportunity for... Overruns create an attack of opportunity for the figure being stepped on. So it does sound like they would get an opportunity attack.
They can they can gnaw the ankles off the horse.
But I think that's the same sort of like, yeah, maybe go for it. Make 3 attacks with your rats.
Well, because monsters get opportunity attacks, though.
Yeah, it just seems a little weird. All right, so
nice.
one of your rats passes.
Yeah, but all 3 get opportunity attacks, right?
Yeah, sure, why not? They'll bite viciously at the horse while the horse tries to run through them.
Okay. 3d20, one hit dice has no.
They have no bonus to hit.
Okay. I mean, I think I have the rats even there anyway. 17?
17's gonna hit. Why don't you roll me some damage?
It's 1
One
damage.
rat is really good.
1 damage.
It's
All right.
But there's a
warhorse
question.
is bit for 1 point of damage.
But there's one question. Rats normally have a 5% chance to contract diseases. What's about zombie rats? What even filthier?
That is not important to today's quest, one way or the other, and there's no way to know whether it happens or not until enough time has passed.
Well, it
So
could be in
we're
2
going
days.
to ignore
the
that factor because the entire tournament takes place in today.
Does the horse react to the rat biting its ankle?
No, it's a warhorse. It doesn't care.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And so 1 passes. The others. The Trampler gets an attack of opportunity that inflicts d4 points of damage per size difference. Per difference in size. Okay. Even that the defender's prone, no modifier supply, trampling there for the. Okay. So I guess the horse gets 3 attacks against your rats.
They could actually live.
Those.
Well, one
all
passed. One
hit.
passed.
No, that's right,
one-
2. So both of them hit, and it does d4 per size difference. Rats are tiny, small, medium, large, so 3d4, and one of them was a crit. The first rat takes 8 damage, and the second rat.
What did you roll for
takes-
hits? What did you roll for hits? Because rats have an armor class of 13.
One of them rolled an 18, then it's plus
Okay.
3 for the horses.
Okay.
And the other was a 13 natural. And then the other
Okay.
rat takes like 15 points
Okay,
of
what-
damage. So 2 of them get squashed.
Yeah. What was it? The first damage?
8 and 15.
Oh, that might actually. Let me just roll a d5. I have 9, 4, 9, 10, and 6 HP because zombies get an extra hit dice. Let me just roll a d5 to see which rat it is. 2d5 to see which rats it are. So the first one is number 5. Takes the 8 is dead. And both are dead.
They both just squashed by the horse.
No, my zets.
Yes.
But one lives and one is still following the horse.
As expected, Hell Bob performs very well on the horseback riding competition. He does some masterful leaps. He actually hops up onto his horse's back and stands on it, and then does a leap over some low-hanging obstacle, and then lands back on the horse's, and then gets back into the saddle and kind of careens around. Then he has the horse do some trotting, giving it some nice gaits, and those sort of things. He just kind of shows off on his horse.
And what about the third rat?
A lot of applauding. The third rat gets lost behind that. Eventually someone will, when there's rats running around in the middle of the field, eventually someone will let go some dogs, and the dogs will go rip it to shreds. We could do combat between the dogs and the rat, but I think it's kind of unnecessary. It
It's
doesn't
not
really
important.
serve a
Probably the horse will die in 2 or 3 days from the wound festering.
The next NPC is Pod.
Okay, well, hey, hang on. Actually, something coming up here. Like,
Yes.
oh, do you think that horse will be that well trained for me?
Who are you asking?
I'm talking to Zen and Droopy.
Then Droopy's not there, so.
We're talking to Zen.
I mean, you didn't bring your horse, so I suppose they're giving you one?
Yeah, I wonder which horse they're going to give me. Maybe I should, like, meet it so I can get to know it. I'll go up to one of the guards and say, for this competition, can I meet the horse they're going to have me ride?
Yeah, well, we have some loner horses out back. Come along. And
All
they
right.
bring you to a loner horse. She's white with black spots. Looks kind of old. Her mane's a little bit shaggy. She's got kind of like dull, dead eyes. She's really not the most spectacular specimen you've ever seen.
Okay. I'll come up, hey there, girl, and I'll start talking to the horse, meeting the horse, introducing myself to the horse.
Okay.
So it looks, you're nice and calm, it looks like. Just got beautiful dead eyes and no... Look at that kind of horse that doesn't do anything unexpected. That's perfect. And I'll have it like a saddle to put on the horse.
Yeah, the horse is already saddled.
Okay. Looks like, oh. My mom taught me that you always check the cinch yourself to make sure that it's good and tight. Don't just want to trust somebody else to, that they've done a job well. And so I'll check the cinch on the saddle, but I like mess up and actually loosen it instead of tightening it.
You intentionally mess up the cinch on the saddle?
No, just saying that I screw up
Okay.
without intending to end up loosening my own cinch on the saddle.
Sure. Okay. You loosen the cinch on the saddle. I don't know what you're getting at here, Rob. I don't know how this is going to benefit you in the long run. But
Just
I'll take
cute,
it.
Rob.
So when you come back out, you come back out in time to see Pod fall off his horse. Dorp goes around, does a couple of interesting and acrobatic feats. There's a round of applause. Doesn't do quite as well as Bob, but he still does well. We have a lot of things to get through.
Yeah.
Schmerkel just rides the horse without trying to do anything fancy. Just like rides back up and down, does like a little bit of a trot, a little bit of a gallop, just enough to show horseback riding proficiency, trying to take no extra risks, and gets, 8 points for it. Who's this other person? Bobbers? Bobbers tries to show off, tries to do some fancy things, and clearly like slips and a foot grazes the ground, but he recovers and he doesn't embarrass himself, but he gets 0 points. And Rhubarb also pulls off a couple of moves, doing some nice gated movements.
Rhubarb, when it's Rhubarb's turn, I will use from my hidden position Wind Servant, which has a range of 100 yards.
They're gonna have mages detecting magic and stuff. That's gonna be a problem.
That's all right. Let Droopy continue to alert the guards to her magic usage and die. That would be another
Wind
chance.
Servant, well, it's just the wind.
Yeah, but it's still gonna be detected magic. They're still gonna. I mean, I'm sure they're detecting magic on the competitors.
Maybe. No, well, it's not on you.
See, this
anyway.
allows the priest to exert fine control of the air currents of the wind, possibly extinguishing small fires, manipulating light objects as they see fit within range. Generally, the priest is limited to one discrete action per round, since he must focus on the wind servant tightly on any given task. So you can affect creatures weighing up to 1 pound per caster level.
Yeah, and I would like to use it to have the reins of the horse like pull suddenly and maybe rip them out of the sense in some moment.
I don't
Because
think 5 pounds.
The reins.
5 pounds of pressure is not enough to rip the reins out of someone's hands.
Or maybe could I use it to? Does he have long hair?
Yeah, he's got somewhat long hair.
To blow the hair into his eyes.
So he's riding one way, but you have the hair like blow from the back forward towards him.
Well, I try to like the hair on his head, like.
Right. But like if you're riding a
eyes.
horse, you're going into the wind, so the hair naturally gets pulled backwards.
Oh yeah.
So if the hair is going to come in front, you have to overcome the force of wind, and then that's also going to be super obvious that some sort of magical effect is taking place.
Oh yeah. I probably don't know if I could even do it if it's fun. 5 points.
Well, I mean, I would say that the hair is more than reasonable. Well, no, it's reasonably light or airy, such as a cloak, a scroll, or a haystack. Yeah, that's fair. So it would be twice as much. So it would be like 10 pounds of pressure. I think you could get the hair to come and like blow in front of the face.
Is it dusty?
Yeah, it's a dirt road. Tons of dust.
I just create some like wind would whirl up some dust in front of him. Just wind. And I leave it at that, seeing that I cannot pull the reins out of him.
Okay. Rhubarb, it doesn't seem to affect Rhubarb very much. He passed his check with quite a ways. Afterwards, though, you do notice a couple of a wizard and a cleric both stepping out into the middle of the field and kind of looking around and casting some spells, and then discussing with each other, and then conferring with the guards. You can't overhear any of their words, but you seem to have aroused their suspicion.
Yeah. As I see that, good thing yesterday I took that spell. Etherealness.
Okay. Rob...
I use etherealness to just get away.
Rob, it is your turn. The way this is going to work is you're going to describe what you want to do, the complexity of the task, and then you're going to give yourself a self-imposed penalty on your horseback riding check for how difficult that is. If you pass, you get a number of points equal to the penalty you've taken +1, maxing out at 5. So, for example, if you don't want to take any penalty, you just have to make a horseback riding check, and you get a point. If you want to take a slight penalty, you could give yourself a penalty of 1. I'm sorry, it's double. You could give yourself a penalty of 2, which would give you an extra 1 point if you pass. Or you could give yourself a penalty of 4, which would give you an extra 2 points if you pass, and so forth and so on.
So if I'm doing things as not necessarily in terms of controlling the horse, but in terms of what I'm doing in the saddle, will that be Dex?
No, it's going to be a horseback riding proficiency check.
Yes, but with horseback riding proficiency.
It's wisdom +3 or willpower +3.
But I'm saying for controlling the horse.
Is
but
willpower.
if it's something that I'm going to do on the back of the horse, my gymnastics on the back of the horse as opposed to...
Your gymnastics will be a dex check, but you'll still have to make that you'll still have to take a penalty to your horseback riding check as well for being able to properly control the horse while doing your gymnastics, right? Like, if you want to stand on the saddle and, like, surf the horse down the road, you still have to then be able to control the horse properly and keep its speed up while you're standing on it. So it might take a dex check, but it'll also be difficult to control the horse. The scoring here is about your horseback riding skills. It's specifically how good of a horseman you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna do what works for the character here.
All right.
All right. So I'm starting out just riding at a normal trot, basically in a straight line, going, yep, safety all the way. But the cinch is loose and the saddle starts to like slide off to the side. And I'm like, and I start basically like climbing the horse as the saddle keeps like rotating, and I'm like climbing up the side, kind of like maybe sort of starting to slide down the horse and then having to like climb back over. And I'm going to use, so basically that's why I'm saying like using Dex to not fall off the horse. And then try to like, and this is all like, this isn't like some pre-planned thing. This is just, he's like, ah! You know, unintentionally ending up in gymnastics until he finally like gets up and he's actually like standing on the saddle.
It's like the saddle slides off to the side because the cinch is loose, and then you scramble back onto the horse and like the saddle's like turned upside down.
Keep like, as I'm doing so, as I'm scrambling, like accidentally, you know, pulling the saddle so it's
like,
you know, like
barrel roll, like a log roll the saddle around the horse all the way, or just like until it's underneath?
All the way.
Okay, so that's gonna be pretty difficult. I'm gonna give you max difficulty settings for all this. I want you to make me like a Dex check at like, it sounds ridiculously hard. So like a Dex check at -8 and a horseback riding check at -8. But if you pass, you get max points.
All right, so the horseback riding will also be at -8?
Yep. In order to keep the horse going and smooth and like not freaking out that the saddle's falling off and the rider's falling off.
Well, I don't mind if the horse freaks out. This is basically just.
Oh yeah, sure. The horseback riding check is for how well you control the horse and how many points you'll end up getting.
Come on, natural 20s.
So let's
do it, Rob.
Check here. So I'll do the Dex check first.
Oh!
Almost.
And
So
what's the
close.
horseback riding check?
So that's going to be plus wisdom minus.
It's wisdom +3 -8, so wisdom -5. If you're a proficient horseback rider.
Yes, I am. So wisdom -5. Wow. Okay, that's going to be pure luck if I happen to get it.
Come on, Rob, you can do it.
Do it, Rob. I believe in you.
9 minus 5.
Ooh.
So close.
Close, but no cigar. Your foot touches the ground for a little bit as you're like falling off the horse. You do manage to scramble back on, but the horse like loses momentum and comes to a stop. And there's like cheers as it looks like you're about to do it, and like a ah as you don't quite make it through.
Okay, well, this
0
wasn't
points
intentional on his
for it.
part. He's just like, rah!
But you got some cheers.
Yeah.
People liked it.
He just somehow messed up riding straight.
Oh,
Well,
next time you'll get it. Next time.
It was a difficult time riding straight.
The next task up is the melee, and we are going to be given specific rules for the melee here. So, the rules are as follows. The combatant will be given a blunted and padded version of their existing weapon. There will be referees to determine when somebody is out, which in game we're just going to say until they reach 0 HP, but it's all temporary damage because of the padded and blunted weapons. You can use any of your own existing armor. You may use any sort of touch attack spells or enemy attack spells, but no ranged spells. Wizards, that means no fireballs, no acid arrows, no magic missiles, also nothing that causes real damage, so no magic missiles, no shocking grasps, none of that sort of thing. But if you're in the melee and you want to slow your opponent, knock yourself out. You cannot leave the arena, no flying, no levitating above people's heads. If you have allies, they may buff you throughout the course of combat, but they may not target your opponents. They may change terrain aspects, because that is equally affecting for all. But we will be doing this melee out in a dirt patch, so no entangle spells may be used.
Neal, is the hypnotism spell allowable then?
By the combatant themselves, yes, but not by any of the combatant's allies.
Okay. So I'm taking hypnotism times. I guess I'll take that 1, and I'll take unseen servant. Now, given what, can an unseen servant wear clothes, Neal?
No, unseen servant is not actually like a person. It's just a force. It's a.
Wait, it could hold up the
unshaped
clothes.
force.
It could hold up the clothes.
It could hold clothes, but it couldn't like hold them in the shape of a person.
Right. Neal,
Okay, guys, I've got an idea. Now, Zen, you mentioned something about turning me invisible. What if we made a fake me, a scare me, and I was invisible, but the unseen servant was moving around the fake me.
What
And maybe
about
people would attack
caltrops,
that.
Neal?
What'd you say?
What about caltrops?
Is that a spell?
Yeah.
No, caltrops.
But it's also a spell,
spikes.
supposedly. If it is terrain affecting, that is, if it affects everybody equally, it is permitted. Or if it has the opportunity to affect everyone.
But terrain
it's
effects have an limited ground they can cover. How it is? So
Well,
you could.
so, you know,
deal...
you soften earth and mud and it only hits half the area, or soften earth and stone and it only hits half the area. The people in it might be affected, and then your ally might later get forced into it, is the idea. But your spell effects must stay confined to the arena itself. They cannot overlap outward.
So I could just go. So I could go buy a bunch of caltrops.
Well, the arena's starting right now, so there's no time to do that sort of thing.
Neal,
The arena's
so-
40 by 40, so if your spell effect is greater than 40 by 40, you can't use it.
Neal. Armor. Can we cast armor on him and then?
You can cast anything, any sort of buff you want on your ally.
All right. So
Do we
until you take 13 HP worth of damage, you have +4 AC.
Okay.
What's your AC already, Rob? You have chainmail
yeah,
on, don't you?
I have a tough hide for thing for human, so that's +2, and then I have dex of +3.
Okay. So
Yeah. So
armor,
19 AC.
does tough hide stack with existing armor? Is my question. Because I don't know if you have armor and tough hide, you might not get the tough hide bonuses anymore.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
Do we
You
want
don't
to
think they
take a break?
stack,
Before...
or you don't think that they don't stack?
I don't think that they stack.
Yeah, I don't think they stack either. But that means you'll...
It's still better than tough hide.
Yeah, so that'll
Yeah,
give you
so
AC...
17.
Yeah, you'll have AC 14 plus you have 17 dex?
Yes. I had
Okay.
2 17s. I could have been a paladin, but
Wow.
opposite Nega,
So
evil twin Desmond didn't seem like a paladin.
So the melee is on the same day.
Yep.
Do I have time just for shenanigans to make a quick scarecrow of me that I can have my unseen servant carry around awkwardly while I'm invisible?
I don't...
Well, Neal, that's as shenanigans as you can get.
Sure, you want a scarecrow that's dressed in the same clothes as you. It's going to be really obvious that it's a scarecrow, though, just so you know, but you can do it.
What if we put on, like, gloves and, like, a face-concealing hat or something?
But my point is that you're all going to step into the melee together, and you'll just be, like, carrying a scarecrow with you? So how do you deploy the scarecrow?
I'm going to have Unseen Servant up, and Zen is going to cast Invisibility on me. So I'll cast Unseen Servant, then Zen will cast Invisibility on me. Then Scarecrow will, dressed as me, being carried by the Unseen Servant, kind of moving the arms around. It'll look very awkward, obviously. It'll be coming out. And in my place, with me being invisible.
I will give people some sort of check to notice whether it's a scarecrow or not. But go for it. We'll see
Okay,
how it works.
Can I find like some sort of face concealing helmet to put on it?
Sure.
I'll put in some gloves. And just for shenanigans, maybe like a mouse is in the hay that put it to the scarecrow.
Sure. That sounds great.
Do we want to take a break for it? Because I really have to go to the toilet.
Yeah, sure. We'll take a break. When we come back, somehow we're going to have to get through the next 4 challenges. We spent so much time with all of these like little details on the other ones that I don't know if we're going to get through all of the challenges today, but we'll try. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.